guys, it's Cindy Leach, your Polymer Clay Tutor. In today's PCT product demo, I'm going to show you the new Sculpey Design It Templates. Now, these are the templates here, and Sculpey has come out with two different design packages. And basically what they are a stencil or shape cutting tool. And the one package is called Jewelry Shapes, and it has 40 different shapes that are perfect for clay and other types of crafting projects. And these are the shapes in the jewelry package. And these are all the appropriately sized for jewelry. They've got the shield type shapes, and they're graduated sizes, so you can stack them together really nicely. They also have triangles, rectangles, obelisks, and different kind of half moon shapes, and a chevron and semicircle and swirly kind of shapes in there. It's very versatile. And the other pack that they have is more general shapes, and there are 22 shapes in this particular pack. And they are, even though you could use them for jewelry, especially these kind of shapes down the bottom here, they're a little bit more suited for home decor type projects and that kind of thing. And let me just show you what they look like. And then I'm going to show you some really cool ways to cut out these templates out of polymer clay, and a couple of tools that you might not have thought of. Okay, now one thing I would do is I'd probably keep the packaging or find another Ziploc bag or something to keep them in, because all the little pieces will start falling out. Well, when they first come, when you first open it up, they are, without any of the pieces punched out. And you will want to keep the positive and the negative, because depending on what you're working on, you may want to use either the outside shape or the inside of the shape. And you can see they're a plastic that's very similar to stencil plastic. Now I just popped that out, and I can either lay this on the clay and trace around it, or I can lay this part on the clay and trace around it. Now, right where I popped it out, there was some little spots where they were slightly attached, really tiny little spots. But what you can do is take like a nail file and just smooth those out so that they're not catching when you're cutting around them. And you can do the same thing for the inside. They are very, very subtle, so they're not a big problem. But I would do it. I would file those down and make them smooth. And then you can see that there's a bunch of different shapes. And like I said, you can save the positive or the negative. Now, the other set, let me just show you the other set before I get too far into this, because they're quite neat to use. This set here is more like keys and hearts. Oh, it probably shows here better. And I haven't used all of this yet. There's so many things for me to be working on, so I haven't tried all of the shapes yet, but they're really unique shapes and great to work with. These ones would make really nice little labels or frames, things on a box, that kind of thing. And same with these ones here. And then the way you use them is you get your polymer clay technique out. Now I've got some pieces here that are baked already and done in like a scrap clay mocha type technique. And I've got a pair of earrings here that I made using the technique. And you can see that I've used two shapes that are different sizes, and they stack together quite nicely. And you can get quite a cool look with them. I also made the ear wires here. I did some torch, some argentium silver wire, and made the little ear wire there. So I stacked them together. But they're really easy to use. Now, what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of scrap clay. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of cutting them out. One way is to use an exacto knife, and this is pretty typical what most people would probably use for cutting out these shapes. And like I said, you could either lay the shape on top of the clay, or you could use the negative or the opening if you wanted to. So if I was going to use this one here, what I would do is lay it down. And the nice thing about these particular stencils is you can see through them. So the pattern will show really nicely underneath. So I just rolled out a sheet of scrap clay, kind of blended it a little, and ran it through the pasta machine and ran it out at about, oh, I don't know, 3 playing cards thick. So this isn't a particularly thick piece, but you could cut out whatever you want. And then you just run your exacto knife around the edges like this. And just go along, try not to cut into the stencil. And just try to make it as clean as you can with your cuts, like that. And when you come into the corners, you know, you've got to make sure you go around them nicely. And that is quite simple to do. Then you've got your little shape that you can use for whatever you want, earrings or whatever. I like to just sort of run my blade around the edge like this to smooth up the edge, or run my finger around the edge, and that will make it even cleaner. But you can sand it after it has been baked. Another way to cut them out, and I've got a sample of some mocha megane slices that I just laid on top of another solid color of clay so that I'd have a nice background on the back, but an interesting pattern on the front. And you just stick it down to the glass. It works a little bit better. And this time we'll cut using another shape. Well, it's the same shape, but we'll do it in, use the, this shape, the actual shape, and rather than the opening. And I can see through it, so I can see where I would like to cut that piece out exactly. Another tool you can use to cut out with is a dental tool. This is a very sharp little pointy tool, and it works beautifully for cutting out things like this. And you would just run your tool along the side, like that. Coming to the points. You have to clean off the tool every once in a while. Hopefully my hand is not in the way. There we go. And then that will cut it out quite nicely. And they have kind of a frosted texture on them, so they're not going to stick too badly to the clay, and they're also going to come off nicely. So there I've got a nice little shape there. And another option is to use a straight pin. So this is exactly the same sort of thing. So I could take another shape, maybe one like this one here. Oh, those edges aren't filed down yet. Oh, I'll just use the same shape. All right, so I'll just run this one through, and you can run around the edges with a straight pin. And I don't know if people realize how beautiful they cut out. And it just takes a very sharp, makes this very sharp little line around. It's not dangerous at all, so it's great for kids if you're working with kids at all. And it works really very nicely. Now, one last little tip. I'll pop this off. When you go to bake them, a neat thing to do is to bake them on a curved form. So you can take a toilet paper roll and just cut it in half, and then just bake your piece. And don't worry about the paper being in the oven, because it handles it quite nicely at this low temperatures that polymer clay bakes at. So you can just lay your pieces onto the toilet paper roll, and it will bake a really nice curve in it. One thing to keep in mind though, a toilet paper roll is paper, so it can absorb the oils from the polymer clay while it's sitting on there. So don't leave it on there for a long period of time. If I was going to bake this later on this afternoon, I would want to make sure I took them back off of here before I did that. Otherwise the oils will seep into the cardboard, and then it'll make your clay a little bit more brittle, and you don't want that. But if you just do it right before you're about to pop it into the oven, you can pop that in, put your tent on top, and bake it like all the other instructions I've taught you already before. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I hope you will check these out. I've seen them at Michael's, and they're probably at all the other craft stores too. They have lots of different designs, and they're quite handy and perfect for working into your polymer clay projects. All right. So if you like this video, do let us know. And if you have suggestions for products you'd like me to test, or techniques that you don't quite understand, do leave those in the comment section below. And don't forget, we have absolutely tons and tons of videos. We've tried lots of different products and a lot of different techniques that may have the answer that you're looking for. So don't forget to search through those and check them out. All right, we'll see you next time, and bye for now.